So welcome, Spencer.
Evening.
So it's obviously been a few days since the Gosport trip that we actually went through on Saturday, and obviously we always knew it was going to be a tough game, and so just your thoughts really on that, and just really obviously your thoughts on the game tonight, really.
I thought Gosport, we probably deserved a point. We missed the best chance of the game in the second half. I think Mitch has come in and done superbly in the first couple of games. It's a great chance. He's got to score. But we could have scored first as well. We're in a slight dip at the moment. I think that's fair to say. I think we've got to be realistic. No team's going to go 42 games without a slight dip. I think you've got to look as well. We've really missed Ricky Holmes, and not just on the pitch with his performances, but his talking. So there's no. You look at that and say in the last 5-6 games that's made a big difference to us, and like everybody else. And CJ's got COVID sadly is still not available tonight. But it's not a case of that we're not working really hard. We had a team set for Saturday. We got an opportunity to sign a Conference National player. I think started 22 games this season.
That's Brundle, was it?
That's Brundle.
Yep.
We've got him because he's one of Sam Deering's best mates, and he really wanted to come here. He's got some circumstances which meant that coming part-time for the rest of the season was really good. I wasn't going to start him. We hadn't, I'd met him, but we weren't going to start him. But then, you come off the motorway at Gosport, and you're wearing sunglasses as you come off, and you come to see Gosport, and the clouds come over, and it's blowing a hoolie, and Gosport have left the pitch like a park pitch, which is they're entitled to do. No criticism. They want to win games, so they play to their strength. And then you're concerned, and you're thinking, hang on a minute, is this really the day for our flair players? And I like to read and hear from everybody, and then I make up my opinion. And I've seen reports, people saying, the pitches are getting worse, the weather's getting worse, and we're too footballing and we're not strong enough. And then you get criticised for putting in a man who's captained Conference National sides and been playing every game this season, and the pitch is blowing a hoolie and the pitch is awful, and I get criticised for putting him in. So sometimes you just can't win. Did he have a good game? I think by his own admissions he didn't. We lost 1-0. We didn't lose 5-0. We lost 1-0. I thought it was quite harsh. I think we deserved a point. Gosport are going for the playoffs as well. But we need to make the odd addition, and there was a reason behind Mitch. He is a man. He's an experienced player. He's only 27, and again tonight we've looked at the fact that the opposition we're playing, it'll come out. He is starting. Again, I've ummed and ahed about it. We're at home. Do we go all flair players? But we have a problem here. CJ is still got COVID. He's 7 days in and still got positive tests. He's feeling fine, so I can assure everyone that's the most important thing. Jordan Rose obviously got a big whack. So Chesham are a very, very big side. And set pieces wise, and when I've ummed and ahed about it, we're going to need Mitch. He's also played in defence for his set pieces. So, I would love to bed him in, but I've also got to remind everybody that we're in now, I think it's 13 game season. So I haven't got an awful lot of time to be doing bedding in. Sure. We need to win points. And again, I know, from a very small group of people, and it gets smaller, I'm pleased to say, whatever I do, I'm criticised. So, and I'll take the criticism rather than the players, but at the end of the day, it's February, it's tough pitches. We need strength. I think you saw even against Wimborne, we didn't win many second balls. We were very good when we get hold of the ball, but you've got to get hold of it. And Chesham are a side that have been 15 unbeaten until Saturday. They're a very physical, strong side. And, we'll be training Thursday. And before we've got to play another side that I think had won until the other day, God knows how many. So, it's very difficult football. I want everyone to be positive, and the vast majority are. And there's always a couple that want to have a dig at me personally, who think they know this, that, and the other. And but the reality is we're still looking for one or two players, because quite clearly we've only got one forward at the club at the moment because Pratty is injured. We've lost Ricky for probably another 4 to 6 weeks, which is a massive loss. But everybody has those problems, and everyone has an odd dip. So what we've got to do, and I've just said to the players, is in my team talk, I reminded them we're top of the league. We're top of the league coming into the middle of February. I would have bitten your hand off for that.
100%.
This division this year is outstanding. There are so many sides that could get promoted.
Yeah.
We've got 13 cup finals to go. We're not enjoying when people want to criticise. The fans have been amazing.
Yeah.
You know, we have to mix it up a little bit. You know, I've got players that have got little niggles that I'm not going to go into, that, you know, that we make decisions on, and some players that aren't quite in form. But then you look at players like Michael Fernandez, who's gone out to Leatherhead for 3 games because I wanted him to get match fit, and he's come back, and I think arguably he's been our best player for the last 2 games. So
100%.
some things work, some things don't work. That's football. What we need is for everyone to stick together. It's very exciting. It's going to be tight, you know, whether it's automatic or playoffs, I hope, minimum. But, you know, with Taunton and Chesham and Truro and Met Police and obviously Hayes and Yedding, you know, there's so many quality sides that are pushing very, very hard, and some will have better runs than others at times. And yeah, we're having a little bit of dip, and the most important thing is we work just that extra couple of percent harder, and try and get the next 3 points, take care of the game in front of us, and then we'll see where we are.
But I think we are kind of, in our commentary, we are sort of saying we are creating chances. It's just taking them chances when they come. We had a good couple of chances at Gosport first half where we could have maybe gone ahead, and again they had good chances as well, so they missed a couple of chances, we missed a couple of chances, but for us it always seems like we need to make sure we can get to the byline, but it's just that killer instinct to get the ball in the back of the net is what we're kind of...
and let's just not beat around this. We've got some very, very young players as well as some experienced players. You know, we were in their box for 5 seconds. We turned their fullback 3 times, and sadly Salim made a poor choice, and they broke and scored the only goal of the game. So we are a balance here of very young, thankfully very cost-effective players, balanced with, you know, 3 or 4 some outstanding players, one of which, you know, is long-term injured at the moment, which has certainly affected us. So we lost 1-0. I think we deserved the draw. You know, the couple of people... Negativity is a very easy thing to do, and people love to read negativity and have a dig. But the good news is, I think this club, in the last year in particular, has developed so much positivity that the few 100%. Negative ones, people start to think, well, you're talking nonsense. Yes, we are going to bring in, if high quality players appear, and there's 1 or 2 others we're after, and getting players out on dual reg. You know, this is a long season, it's very hard on our young players, and with these heavy pitches, we're possibly not able to play as much flowing football as we'd like, and some players have lost a little bit of form. And we will work really hard to help them through it and try and do our very best. And whatever happens, no one's going to take away that this is an outstanding group of players and support staff. And we will do our absolute best to try and be up there at the end.
Do you think obviously we've had a long run of away games, and obviously we perform, in my opinion, we perform better at home with the crowd behind, and like I say, we've drawn quite a few on the road. We're back here now against a tough, like you said, Chesham side. These are the kind of games now where we need to pick up the 3 points at home. We've got a run of home games. We've got another home game against Yate, which is another tough game on Saturday. Like you said, it's all cup finals now. They're all tough games all the way through. But is it vital now that we start picking up the 3 points? Because it seems like, obviously, being away from home, we haven't picked up the 3 points for some time now.
Yeah, I think you've also got to keep a balance on it. It is only 3 points tonight. It is only 3 points on Saturday. You know, I'll make no bones about it at the moment. If this game is level, probably 75, 80 minutes, we will go for a wins, because I think if we want to compete to win this, draws aren't enough. I think we've got a few results in the bank to be in the playoffs, and don't get me wrong, Taunton are on a phenomenal run, and Chesham are, and we've
got Tiverton away on the 26th.
You know, we've got so many tough teams. Met Police, obviously Hayes. Yeah. They're all coming for it. Gosport are trying to still sneak in. Yeah. You know, so. But at the end of the day, if we want to win this, draws don't really do it. No, so there will come a time that I will go, do you know, people go, well, perhaps you should have taken a draw, but I don't think draws will probably do it. So we've earned the right, I think, the opportunity to try and win games. But every game is just 3 points. You see at the moment the standard of this league is exceptional. I think a lot of that's got to do with the finances away from football. That is a whole new story for this year in particular. But, you know, nobody is going to, I think, go and win. Well, we won 11 in all straight competition. I don't think that's going to happen at this stage. There's so many teams still competing for it, so many very strong sides. You've just got to take each one as it comes. Don't feel too thrilled if you win. Don't feel too depressed, which is difficult if you don't win. And keep going. And it is exciting. There is pressure. We're top of the league, so everybody's got that we want to beat the top of the league, and that's tough, especially on our youngsters who perhaps, as I said, aren't at, firing just as they'd like to be at times on difficult pitches. But we've asked for I'm sorry, I put it back. I've demanded a reaction tonight. I don't think we were awful. I think it's fair to say both centre halves had a poor game for them on Saturday. We have made a change there tonight. I'm rotating players in that. Everyone can't be great at the time. I mean, look at the strength of our bench. Look at the players who aren't with us at the moment.
So just touching on that, injury-wise, I know CJ's obviously out. Any other injury-wise?
Well, obviously, Ricky's 4 to 6 weeks. Pratty is still probably in the same timeline. And Seth has been getting games where at Leatherhead. Mike obviously went and has come back. Padge is at Leatherhead getting good minutes as well. We brought in a young lad from Crystal Palace, but I'll clear up the situation with him and with Dante.
Yeah, Dante as well, yeah.
The situation with both those players, and particularly Dante, is I'm very grateful to Watford. Jack Turner is our goalkeeper. Jack Turner is a Farnborough player. He's a player that's made it very clear he wants to play for Farnborough for a number of years.
Yeah.
With the greatest will in the world, Dante is an outstanding goalkeeper who I think will have a career possibly... The sky's the limit. I think he's absolute top draw.
Yeah, 100% agree with that.
It's common knowledge he's not jabbed, which means he's already missed 3 10-day blocks. Jack wants to play, rightfully so. He's been Conference South Team of the Year 2 out of the last 3 years.
And he's done well.
He's done well. And he's our player. Yeah. As much as anyone at this level is your player.
Yeah.
So Dante is an outstanding keeper, and Jack will admit that. But he's not our player, and if let's be positive, we want to get promoted, then I suppose we'd have a chance of maybe looking at him or any lone player at that level.
So if Jack gets injured, Dante is here,
and that is what I've done. I've tried to cover all my bases, and I'm very grateful to Watford. I tried to help Dante get a club higher with Watford. And I have to tell you, some of the managers, you've lost the plot, because that kid is so good, and you've missed an opportunity.
Yeah, 100%.
But if Jack gets injured, or God forbid sent off, and if we've got to go in the playoffs, I'll be asking him to be here on the bench, That doesn't mean I don't rate him as highly, and I don't think Jack would say any different. And I'm grateful to Watford. I'm grateful to Dante, because it was deadline day in the Premiership. And he's there for us as cover. And I had to call up Jack and explain in quite a lot of detail what I was doing.
We saw obviously the news break. We saw the news break on media, on social media.
And again, people want to have a dig and what's he doing, and this, that, and the other. And I go, well, hang on a minute, I'm covering my bases here, because if I get Dante and Jack leaves, and then Dante gets pinged, and anyone in that Watford huge academy gets pinged, he's out for 10 days.
Yeah.
I'm into cup finals, as you say it, with no backup goalkeeper. So I just can't take that risk.
Exactly.
And then you've got the same with young Dylan. Dylan, I've made very clear to Crystal Palace, they rate him highly. He's a right back. But they were scrambling to get him a loan on deadline day. And I said, look, I'll take him. I don't know anything about him. I don't know if he's any good at all.
Yeah.
I have some issues at fullback at the moment, and I said, look, I'm not promising him any minutes, which is not normally how this works. Crystal Palace has been fantastic. I've got to say that Powley and Mark Bright over there have been absolutely fantastic, with the understanding that I'm not promising him anything. But he's coming in training. He'll be in again Thursday training. He's a young lad, and who knows? He might get some minutes. He might be our star player. I don't know.
Did you know anything about Brundle when you first came?
Yeah. So when Brundle was mentioned to me about 2 weeks ago by Sam, and obviously they're very, very good mates. They played together at Dagenham, and he said, look, there's a situation brewing, and he just needs to go and play somewhere with his mates to the end of the season, and I said, of course I'd be interested, because you straight away you call up.
It's that experience.
I call up Dean Brennan at the manager at Barnet. I speak to a number of other players that played with him, but the stats are he's played 22 games for Barnet this season.
They've obviously given him a glowing reference.
And they've said, look, this is the captain of Dartford when they were Dover when they were in there. This guy's played 200-300 Conference National games, and playing this season, he's not. So when I get to Gosport and he's blowing a hoolie, I'm thinking, who do I need here? Do I need a fighter, experienced man? When I know that Gosport are going to try and rough us up, and which they did very well. Yeah. And congratulations to them on the day. But at the end of the day, if we were playing here, and the pitch was like it is today, he would clearly have started on the bench and said, look, come in training and get ready to get into the team, because we just had a good win at home. But sometimes you have to look at the opposition. And today, for instance, you know, I've had to look at the situation about, hang on a minute, strong side, big side, you know, who, you know, work very hard on set pieces, and we're suddenly not a big side.
We got a result against these away, if I remember rightly, start of the season. I think Nick Cardini free kick.
Yeah, free kick, Pudge penalty and a Seth corner. The thing is, with the greatest will, they're a totally different team. They had a very poor start to the season. They've been quite fantastic since sort of late October time.
Yeah.
And they're pushing for the I think everyone's pushing for it automatic, and it's got tighter because we've had a little bit of a dip. Look, we've lost, is it 1 in 12 or something? I mean, again,
the little bit dips come. Is it come from because of away games? Does it come?
I think it's you can't look away from the fact that one of our star signing, Ricky's been missing. We've had COVID and injuries like others have, of course.
Yeah.
We've also played some very tough away games. You know, Western Supermere, who I haven't mentioned. I think they've had a fantastic side as well that are definitely going to be pushing for this. So, you know. We've got tough games, but so does everybody. You know, Hayes and Yedding, you know, by all accounts, if you believe Salisbury, you know, we're lucky to get a point, you know. So, and Hayes, we're a fantastic side. So there is some really good footballing season in this division. So, you know, it's tough, you know, and we're not going to apologise if someone of the calibre of Mitch Brundle becomes available.
Yeah.
I hope he fits straight in. It might take him a few weeks to bed down. I really don't know. But when that opportunity, and I did agree with a few people, we are very much a footballing side, but on the tough pitches against sides, dare I say it, like a Kings Langley, who I thought were fantastic as well, and used the open elements and a very difficult pitch to their advantage. We do need a bit more experience and men on the pitch and size on the pitch. And Mitch has also played in defence for Barnet. So, you know, if the opportunity arrives, and there's still one or two others that we're looking at trying to get over the line, some of which you know and some of which you won't, and we have to strengthen, which is what we've done with Dante and everything else. I said, you know, I hope from perspective you don't see Dante this season, because that means that Jack has not got injured and we've won automatic promotion because we won't need him for the playoffs. But, you know, I want to cover every base I can. And that was deadline day in the Premiership, so that's how those come about. And we're still looking at it. We're still looking around. I said we've just sent out young James Whiting to Leatherhead as well, and he's been outstanding.
He did well in the midfield.
He's done really well. So you know, it's whatever happens.
Was it the right back area? What you touched on a minute ago, where is the kind of the sort of weakness? I know we've got Jake Ball coming now from Salisbury. He's more of a centre back. He's more of a centre back.
Centre half who can play right back. Yeah. And we brought him here. Long term, we've got an option on him for next year, and I see no reason. But again, the stuff I'm not going to go into, that it's not as clear cut as people look at. Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? If I told everybody that someone's got a niggle, or someone's got this, or someone's had a work emergency and they don't feel great, you know, I'm not going to tell you all that.
Exactly,
so, you know, there's often, you know, reasons behind decisions. And Gosport, I'm quite happy to explain why I changed the team for that. Because I said, I got there and I was all sunny, and you get to Gosport and the wind's absolutely swirling everywhere. The pitch is
Tell us about where we were up in the gantry.
It's freezing. It was like, so,
blown a gale.
You know, so, you know, I said negativity is not nice. You know, people will have the digs. But
to be fair, this season there is situations we've been in, we have turned it around again with substitutions from yourself, bringing players on that scored late goals. So it swings and roundabouts, really. Like I said, there's no criticism really from this part. There's more positivity when the substitutes have been come on, they've made a difference. I think you've got to take more credit from that than anything else.
No, I'm not really talking about the brigade of Farnborough fans that have come forward in the last year or so, and particularly from the kids' era, has been absolutely phenomenal. The support has been amazing. It's just hard because what people don't realise is when they are negative to people, some of these youngsters out there, they read it.
Yeah.
And, you know, that is, you know, it's football though. You know, that's the reason we love this game of football is it's all about opinions.
Exactly, 100%.
And some people, it's totally their lives, you know, and they, you know, and some people, sadly, you know, they like to have a moan and a criticism, particularly with me, and they can, and it's right.
Some of the criticism that I've heard personally is kind of with bringing players in and bringing out, that sometimes it upsets the apple cart a little bit. When you've got a steady team, it's obviously, it works with a good team spirit, and it kind of everyone.
And how many have we changed? We've not changed many this year. There is clearly always going to be tinkering, and I think it became very apparent. You know, in the last 5, we've only won 1, and the pitches have got heavier. The weather has got worse. And I'm not saying we've been found out, but if we want to try and win it, and one of the big pluses about being at the top, or whether you're top or second or third, is it gets players like a Mitch Brundle willing to come to you. And when you're coming towards the business end of the season, which we clearly are, you know, what do I say? Oh, he's Sam's mate. I didn't go after Mitch Brundle. I wouldn't have even dreamed of picking up the phone. But when someone says, look, I really want to come, and he came down and met Rob and I, and you go, well, I could be mad not to take this type of player. When it is certainly an area that we're not strong. We know we've got an issue in defence at the moment. I mean, John can play left or right back. He's done very well.
John's superb.
Obviously, you couldn't make it up. Alfie was superb in the 11-game winning run and gets to Aldershot. Now he's not played again. It's no big secret. I've gone back in for him again. I thought I'd got him.
Right, okay.
And now I don't.
Is he not playing? He's not back in the starting?
He's not at the moment.
Right, okay.
But, you know, I speak to Mark Molesley twice a week. You know, obviously Bradley as well came here, did okay for a few games, and then started for Aldershot at left back. You know, it's not. I never stop. It just doesn't really stop. They're constantly trying it. You know, it's no big secret that when we did win the 11 game, that was quite a steady side. But you have to look at conditions. I like to give the players as much information as possible. And as an example tonight, they pretty much know about every player at Chesham, what they're going to do, what they're likely to do playing wise. And then I believe in our players that, fingers crossed, will come through and, you know, against a very, very strong side. But it is just another 3 points. And if another quality player becomes available, then, and there are one or two we are talking to, you know, because you have to remember that some clubs now are, to be honest, giving up. Their season may well be dead, so there are opportunities. You have a lot of the pro clubs now telling players they're not going to have their contracts renewed, and the pro club will let that player go. So, and I'm not talking about making 5 or 6, but if there's 1 or 2,
it could make a difference,
particularly if they'll make a difference, particularly if they might commit for next year on an option as well. I don't think I'd be doing my job if I didn't speak to them. And at the moment, as I said, I've got this great thing that they look. The first thing any player does when you mention Spencer from Farnborough is they look at the league table.
Exactly.
So I'd be a fool not to run on that and to see what we can do. So, you know, we are excited. We are a fantastic balance of young players. When you think the loans that we're very grateful to the parent clubs and players that are playing for almost nothing against the 3 or 4 others. And, you know, balance-wise, we're fantastic on what we've put together financially, because we've got players that are friends of friends that have come for way, way less than they would get otherwise.
And they just want to come and play for Farnborough.
And their mates, and a fantastic stadium, and a team that's fighting for promotion. And even Ricky said he's been playing football for over 20-odd years. And I think he said in that 20-odd years he's had 3 shots at promotion. And he said, so you've got to embrace it. Because, as we know around here, we only got promoted, whatever it was, 5 years ago. And how much we all enjoyed that, from step 4 straight back from step 4 to step 3. And we're in the mix. I hope we come through. I'm desperate for us to come through. It hurts when we lose the game.
With the stadium and the facilities obviously we've got here, this is like sitting up for a national sort of conference level.
We need the fans
to get back
too.
there, really,
we need to go there. But we won't do it, you know, when I speak to Rob, which is many times a day. We're not going to do it by busting the football club. This club's been there and done it. You know, still some of the old brigade, they've gone about it, and that was bankruptcy. It was millions. I lost a fortune. It just can't be done, and we're not going to go that route. We pay out what we get. There's the support staff, the volunteers are absolutely amazing. It's growing. It's growing slowly. We were very sensible last year, which has assisted us this year. We've got a great group of contacts that I have that bring in quality players, and players want to come. And I always love it, the fact that players want to come back. When you look at people like Richard Orlew and Cardini's been back about 5 times, and I still would not bet on him not being back again at some point this season. We've spoken.
Just for his free kicks, or
free kicks and a few other bits. But and the fines list has gone down to 0 because he was in charge of it. So we're not getting anywhere there. But you know, it's always a nice thing to get. So you know, positivity is 98% of it, and you know, we're going to stand up, and you know, we've had a good season so far. Now we get to the business bit. We know every game's a battle. We've got to start tonight. Very, very tough game. It is only 3 points, but let's fingers crossed make sure it's our 3 points.
And Terrell Egbury's come in, had a good debut last week, home debut, with a good assist, a couple of assists, and looks quite lively on the wing.
And he was definitely pushing to start tonight. He's lost out tonight because we're just too small. And bearing in mind who I don't have available tonight, at CJ, I've looked at it literally since we almost finished the Gosport game, you know, Terrell would have started in different circumstances. But look at the size of Chesham.
So what's
out
his
there.
situation there? Is he on a?
He's on an end of season low.
Right. Okay.
He's lacking confidence. I think it's fair to say. I hope I'm not dropping him in it. He's not had a good season at Southend,
right.
But he's a cracking lad.
Looks
You saw that he destroyed Wimborne for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But he needs a run. But you know, someone wanted me to leave Michael Fernandez out at the moment, you know, who's arguably been our best player the last two. Then you look at Mitch Parker, who's come in, you know, for almost nothing. What a fantastic start he's had.
What debut that was.
Reggie's Reggie, you know, Reggie's not at the levels he wants to be at the moment. Hodges, I don't think he's scored an outfield goal for about 7 games. He knows he's got to do better. And there's competition for places. And again, you find me a team that's going to win promotion where you don't have a squad of players that have got competition for places. And I'm thrilled tonight that if it, please God, it's not working, I've got some real quality on the bench ready to come on.
I've just got to ask you quickly before you go. Again, thanks so much for your time and the interview. And with the corners, are we always going short corners? They've been told to go short all the time, or are we going to get it in the box at some stage?
Well, we put it in the box, and every time we put it in the box, the opposition just head it out because I think it's fair to say we just don't attack the ball properly. We have worked ruthlessly on attacking ball in box, and as you'll see tonight, they're giants against, you know, I've got 2 centre halves.
Yeah.
So we play to our strengths, and you know, there's no point hitting a 60-yard ball into the box from the halfway line thinking that we're gonna head it into the box. It's like
we're quite a small team, yeah.
You know, so we will play to our strengths, and I appreciate T might get frustrated with it, but you get more frustrated if we just keep putting ball into the box. It either doesn't get to where it's meant to be,
it doesn't beat the first man,
and then just head it out because we're half the size of the opposition. So
exactly.
You know, yes, people now know we've got short corner routines. You know, we play to our strengths. We have another corner routine. I mean, you'll see when Yate turn up on Saturday, Bonner is a proper 6'5". No teams win their first ball against him. You have to deal with the second ball, and they will just stand him on normally on the goal line and put a corner up.
He's a
6'5" centre
half, right? Okay.
Now, if you all went short to that, you'd all have a right to say, "What the hell are you doing? You got a 6'5" and he can head it."
Yeah.
We don't really have that. We don't have what I call really aggressive attacking heading balls. We've got some fantastic players here, but let's play to our strengths. You know, we scored a fantastic goal actually. Only was it a week ago when we did it? In fact, it was the CJ goal against Wimborne. So we should have scored at Kings Langley. I mean, we opened that right out,
and I think we actually
put the ball straight over.
I think we actually scored at Chesham actually with Seth. I think
that was a straight ball into the box with the header. But if you remember at Kings Langley only 2 weeks ago, Salim was opened up in that short corner and he's got to score. You know, that's and he's blasted over from 10 yards. So it can work. It causes team problems, but these are just lots of things that we work on that we're looking at.
So have we got Salim long term? Is he?
Salim's on a loan to the end of the season, but you know, on any loan, if it's not from the Premier League, after 28 days there is a 24-hour recall, which with our relationship with Woking is basically a 5-minute recall. I mean, Dowse is very good to me. He wouldn't do that on a Saturday unless it was an absolute emergency. But the reality to it is I think we're being fair. Salim has, you know, he's got a bit of a niggle as well. I don't mind admitting to that.
Is he on the bench?
He's on the bench today.
Right, okay.
You know, I made a double change at half time Saturday because it wasn't really happening for us. And you know, it's tough. You know, it's you know.
So everyone's fighting for their place, obviously.
And we want that. We want that. And we've got a lot of games. We've got 3 this week. So you know, I would have not even hesitate for a second with Salim starting. He started nearly every game for us with obviously Terrell. You know, Frankie's been in and out, etc. And Frankie's been great because he's such a utility player.
The big miss for me personally is obviously, like you said, Ricky running at the defenders, having that pace that when he actually goes at them, he's frightening when he gets the ball and he cuts inside and he's like, they don't know what to do with him. And like you said, since he's been out injured, we've kind of looked at different.
And I think what people don't realise is that he's a phenomenal talker on the pitch, and we have gone a bit quiet, and we are expecting Mitch when he gets used to us. You know, he's only been here a few days. He's been a captain, you know, to start leading as well. But it's not easy just to walk straight in, however old you are and experienced, just to suddenly start, you know, pushing people around the pitch. So, you know, we need that in difficult games. And you'll see tonight, Chesham are a very big, strong, powerful side. But hand on heart, we tell the players, I think, biased as I am, I think our dressing room, and that's 1 to sort of 17, 18, 19 players is as good or better than anybody else in this division. And when we exceed the other team's work rate, we've got every chance of winning a game. So as much as we respect everyone we play, and Chesham rightly so, fantastic side and a great run, we've got to go and show what we're doing, and also not worry too much about what Hayes are doing, or Taunton, or Met Police, or Western. We've got to concentrate, and it is difficult when you're top of the league and people are looking at it, but it is only 3 points. I think there will be lots of twists and turns to go. We've just got to work extra hard.
I'm not sure we can take it up here.
Everyone keep positive. I'll leave you with, we started the season, we wanted to be so much better. We want to be better than last year. And I don't think whatever ever happens, you'll turn around and say, we've massively exceeded that. And the positivity will be here, whatever we do. But look, let's make no beans about it. We've got 13 cup finals. Let's try and embrace it. And, with a little bit of luck.
And just a quick one on the support on Saturday. How good they were there.
Yeah, it was great.
Made that journey behind the goal. They're always there in the numbers.
And it's freezing.
Freezing cold. 100, 200, they're always there. Aren't they?
And we need them. This is... We're in it together, the players know this, as I said to them tonight, I said, we're top of the league, we need a reaction, we need a reaction, teams don't tend to lose 2 or 3 games.
A lot of the fans are kind of going on out of their own pocket, getting their own ways there on the bus or the train or things like that, and it is expensive from some, and there's 150 turning up 200 at a game, and you can see the support that's there behind the team. So as long as they obviously keep winning and keep performing, the crowd should keep coming back.
But even though, if we, as I said, I believe we've had the least defeats in the whole division this season. There you go, the least amount of defeats. We can't be great every week. You won't go through 42 games, as I said, without having a bit of dip. It's how you react to it. We've got some great players. The supporters have been fantastic. We do totally appreciate it. I'm absolutely adamant at the end of every game to get our players over to the supporters. I say to them, you guys turn up. Some of you get some money. Some of you, you turn up, you've got all your kits laid out, the pitch is done beautifully, you just walk in and you go and play football. These guys are travelling, they're spending hard-earned money to get there. We get out of our cars like the supporters do and go, it's blowing a hoolie here at Gosport, it's absolutely horrible. And we need to be positive. And so, when teams get, are fighting for promotions, every little tiny detail helps. And the fans are a massive part of that. So we're incredibly grateful to them. We want to be really positive. As I said, there's going to be ups and downs. Let's hope tonight isn't up. But there's still a long way to go. 13 games. We're talking a third of the season. Let's just focus on each next game. And, there's a lot. The good news is with so many teams competing for it, they've all got to play each other at times.
Yeah, exactly.
And we can't all be winning every week.
We've got Hayes to come here, obviously.
We've got Hayes to come here, we've got Weston to come here, we've got to go to Taunton, and we've got Chesham tonight, we've got Yate coming out twice. Every game is a cup. But look, you've got to embrace it. You don't want to be battling at the bottom. You don't want to be in a season that's, I speak to most managers, and some managers going, our season's dead. We're not getting promoted, we're not getting relegated, and there's
still 8-9 games left. Whatever. So
13
13
third
games.
of the season. So
they're not playing for anything.
We're playing for something, and everyone get behind us, and fingers crossed.
I can guarantee you, we're all behind you. The fans are all behind you. So now it's just down to you guys now too. It's pretty. Again, thanks for all your time, Spencer, and good luck today.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, Spencer.